Welcome live to Seattle, Washington, where we are getting set to kick off our coverage of the 2023 Boise State football season. The last time I was at Husky Stadium was in 2013. It was for Chris Petersen's introductory press conference as the head coach. Yes, the winningest coach in Boise State history would go on to become one of the best the Huskies have ever had as well. It is safe to say that nobody knows these two programs better than the guy people affectionately call Coach Pete. So, of course, I had to call him and get his thoughts on the matchup.
Coach Pete, this specific matchup has to have a lot of meaning to you. What kind of goes through your mind when you see the University of Washington and Boise State on the same football field?
Two things go through my mind. One, I'm glad I'm not going to be at that game. The second thing is, this is a good matchup. This is two good programs, and both sides know it. And so I'm excited to watch this game.
You know, you look at your coaching tree, and it is all the branches of it are just sprouting through this specific matchup, whether it's Boise State or Washington. But what do you think of the job that Andy Avalos has done so far at Boise State?
I think he's done a great job. You know, I really do. I think how he kind of navigated through last year's the early struggles of the season, that was impressive for those guys to still pull out 10 wins. You know, it's just not an easy job, especially in this day and age, how football and athletics has been flipped on its head in terms of transferring and, you know, NIL and all those type of things. And so it takes a lot of skill to navigate that, to put a really high performing product out on the field. And I think he's done a great job.
I remember not long after you left the University of Washington, I watched you on a podcast and you brought up this parable that you were on a bus, and I believe the windows on the bus were covered and you couldn't even see out the bus, and you were going through this, you know, majestic area, but you were so locked in and focused, you just could not appreciate it. Are you now appreciating what's outside the windows of the bus in your life, Pete?
Amen. 100%. I've learned so much about coaching, leadership, myself, high-performing teams, sustainable high performance. You know, I think I've learned more than I learned in the last 15 years by stepping away and getting better perspective. Yeah, the things that I'm doing now, I'm super passionate and energized. I'm still very much into coaching. I'm just not on a sideline coaching, you know, a bunch of players. I think that's what life's all about. It's always being about continuing learning and being curious, and why did this work and why didn't it work? And it's just super complex to put a high performing organization together. I think that's really intriguing to try to figure those answers out.
I think I heard the other day that you might have visited a certain NFL facility in California where a former left-handed quarterback who played for you won a lot of games with you. What's your relationship like with Kellen Moore these days? And do you reminisce at all about what I'll refer to as the glory days?
I don't think Kellen and I, over the last handful of years, have talked one thing about the old days when we were. He probably has a bone to pick with me on a few things, so I'm glad he hasn't brought stuff up. We haven't done that at all. You know, we just kind of talk about the here and now and what he's doing and the state of the game and all those type of things. But that's what's awesome, like staying in touch with that quarterback crew, not only him, Dinwiddie. You know, it's so awesome having Bush Hamdan back at Boise. So Bush will put us on a chat thread with the Taylor Tharps, Zabransky, Kellen. That is pretty cool. Like, that's Bush at his finest, like keeping people connected. And, you know, I just chuckle if somebody will send something out, and I just smile and just think how cool that is.
Just to be clear, Chris Petersen will not be at the game. He's headed down to LA to work for Fox, Brian and Morgan. Yes, Chris Petersen now working for the media. I never thought that I would see that happen.
Jay, does he think he'll coach again, though?
That's a wonderful question, Morgan. We will have to wait and see. He believes he's kind of coaching right now. I'll add this to it, though. He's enjoying life. When I called him the other day, he was getting ready to tee off on the golf course. Oh. Coach Pete loving what he's doing right now.
And you got to love the Ryan Dinwiddie reference.
Yes.
There. That's amazing. Thank you very much, Jay.